easy to do at just the click of a button. So in addition to the Trouble in Toyland report, I want parents to be vigilant on what's happening online, especially at this time. I'm looking forward to turning the page on the administration, really, because the Trump administration, their Consumer Product Safety Commission has relied on too many voluntary recalls, voluntary.
It is officially here, the first autonomous vehicle in St. Petersburg and Pinellas County. Meet Ava. She's ready to take you up and down the downtown area.
We are officially introducing
somebody's
or Pinellas County to a brand.
Okay, good. Okay, thanks. So be careful online when children, be careful with these dangerous toys. We're going to turn the page on the Trump administration's lax enforcement of consumer product safety laws, and hopefully the Biden administration will take a tougher line on dangerous toy manufacturers and online privacy protections. So at this time, Susan, I'll throw it back to you and thank all of our fantastic speakers for being with us today in USPIRG's Great Trouble in Toyland annual report.
Thank you, Representative. And now we will hear from Grace with USPIRG. Grace?
Hi, Susan. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning. My name is Grace Brownback. I'm the Consumer Watchdog Associate with the USPIRG Education Fund. And for those of you who are not super familiar with us, we are a nonpartisan advocacy organization that stands up to powerful interests whenever they threaten our health, our well-being, our financial security, or our right to fully participate in our democratic society. And so today I am here to talk about our 35th annual Trouble in Toyland report. For 34 years, our Toy Safety Report has uncovered toxics and identified choking hazards and even highlighted a doll that was stealing children's personal information. Our continued advocacy work, along with incredible work from public health experts, other consumer advocates, elected officials, and the Consumer Product Safety Commission, have truly led to stronger standards and safer toys over the years. But there's still more work to be done, and as everyone has said, with parents spending more time at home and children of all ages playing together more often, it's more important now than ever in this pandemic that we're making sure that the toys that we're bringing into our homes are safe for all children's use. So this year's Trouble in Toyland report highlights 9 major toy hazards, and I want to talk about 5 specifically for you today that I would like to highlight. The first being small toys or pieces that can break off and pose a choking hazard for young children. This year, our report found multiple listings on Amazon for toys that were improperly labeled for the wrong age group and could pose a choking hazard to young children. We also found a VTech toy toolkit that the bolts measured just above the CPSC test standard, and as you can see here, it just barely doesn't fit in that test cylinder. Before handing over a toy to a child, parents should make sure that all parts are assembled correctly and that any small pieces, game parts, etc., are kept out of reach of children under the age of 3 years old. And they can also use a test tube or a toilet paper roll to potentially test and see if a toy has a small part. The second toy hazard that I would like to highlight are flocked animal figures, or calico critters. These small animals are covered in a thin, fuzzy material, and their bright accessories make them very appealing to young children. But unfortunately, these products were actually tied to the death of a child in New Mexico, as well as a near-death incident in Utah, where both children were under the age of 3 years old, and both children choked on the exact same pacifier accessory. So parents really need to be careful of these toys and similar flocked animal figures, and keep them out of reach of young children, and the CPSC should strongly consider recalling these toys as they do pose a choking hazard. The third toy hazard that I would like to highlight are high-powered magnets. We know of at least 2 cases in the past year of 2 9-year-olds swallowing more than one of these high-powered magnets, and when that happens, they can bunch in the intestine and cause serious internal damage. One actually required emergency surgery to remove these magnets. Since a government ban on these high-powered magnets was overturned in 2016, we've seen statistically significant increases in incidents and injuries involving high-powered magnets. And the CPSC estimates that thousands of children have been treated in emergency rooms across the country because of these magnets in the past decade, and yet parents are still buying these high-powered fidget tools for their kids. We highly encourage and recommend that parents avoid these high-powered magnets altogether and leave them out of the home because children can gain access to them. The fourth toy category are noisy toys. While they can give parents a headache, and I'm sure if you're a parent and you've bought one of these noisy toys for your kids, you know that, they can also be dangerous. And the World Health Organization estimates that toys with decibel levels over 100 with sound effects can cause permanent hearing damage in children. So we actually found a toy fire truck on Amazon that reached over 100 decibels. And so if you have a toy like that in your home and you believe that it's too noisy, you can turn down the volume, you can put tape over the speaker to muffle the noise, or take out the batteries if that's a potential option. And the final toy category that we highlighted in our report are recall toys, which should not be on the market at all in today's age. On more than one occasion, our research found full pages of recall toys for sale on Amazon. And while our recall system is effective in getting dangerous toys off the market in some cases, in others, if parents and caregivers are not properly notified, these toys can continue to slip through the cracks. So parents should be sure that before they buy toys from a secondhand seller or from a garage sale or passed down from a family or friend, that they know that these toys are safe and not recalled by checking saferproducts.gov. So that's all from our report findings. And during this pandemic, many parents have been working from home, trying to keep kids of multiple ages busy and safe with activities that they can enjoy by themselves. And so there are still toy hazards to be aware of, and you can visit toysafetytips.org to see our full list of tips and read our full report. Thank you.
Thank you for that information, Grace. A lot of good information for parents and those of us who are looking for toys for our kids. So thank you. And from this time, it's our pleasure to hear from the St. Joseph's Children's Hospital Wellness and Safety representative, which is Michelle Steinberg. So take it away, Michelle.
Hi, thank you so much for having me along with you today. My name is Michelle Sterling, and I work for St. Joseph's Children's Wellness and Safety Center. And we're here to help prevent injuries. We want to keep our children safe. We see more than 180,000 children every year in all of our emergency departments due to toy hazards and mishaps that happen and take place. So we want to keep our children safe. We want to make sure that the toys that we're reading those labels that are on there, as parents and as consumers, we want to make sure that they're going to be safe for our children. Online, so many times, like Grace alluded to, you'll see a toy that says that it's for ages 1, 2, or 3, when technically, if you look at the hazard that's warning label that's on there, it'll tell you that it's actually not for children under 3. So we want to make sure that we are doing our research, that when we find, for example, a small little toy that's for sale for our children, that we do that fit test that she said, where you can place it through that toilet paper holder, and if it slides through there, you know instantly that it is not safe for our little ones out there. If you have older siblings that have smaller toys, we want to make sure that those are being kept put away and put up so that our smaller siblings don't find those toys. You know, they explore the world with their mouths. They find things that we thought we lost 6 months ago. So we want to make sure that if we do have those toys for our older children, that they're put away from smaller children being able to find them and potentially causing a choking hazard. Another thing is, during this time of the year, we tend to find deals on furniture, on TVs that we purchase for our family. So we want to make sure that we are properly mounting those on our walls, connecting them with wall mounts, furniture mounts. We do not want tip overs to occur. That seems to be a big problem. And we want to keep our children safe from any furniture falling over on them. If you can imagine how heavy it is for us to move that furniture, to put that TV up, imagine how heavy it would be if a little toddler was to come over and crawl up on it and pull down on it. So we want to keep our children safe from any furniture tip overs. Another thing that we want to get our kids active out there. They've been at home a lot the past 9 months. get them out of those screens. So if you do go to purchase some type of wheeled sport, so say it's a bicycle, a scooter, rollerblades, something that you get them for Christmas, make sure that you're adding that helmet to your list. We want to keep their brains safe while they're out there. You know, if they fall and hit their heads on the pavement, we can't actually see what has happened on the inside like we can see a broken bone. So we want to keep our children's heads safe while they're out there. So get them out there, get them active, but keep them safe. Another tip I want to bring you is if you happen to be buying something that has batteries, let's say button batteries, for instance, this is another huge choking hazard for our children. We want to keep those put away, out of reach of little ones to find them. You know, we want the holiday time to be safe and fun, but we want to keep our kids in mind as we're purchasing those items. So make sure you're reading those labels and it's for your children's ages and stages of life that they're in. Thank you.
Here, Susan, unmute.
Thank you, Representative. Thank you, Michelle, for that good information, more information for parents to remember. So at this time, we will take questions from the media. If there's any questions for any of our speakers.
Hi, it's Sue Carlton here. I have a question. What toys typically have high-powered magnets in them?
Hi, Sue. So these high-powered magnets can actually come in their own sets. So it can come in sets of over 100 or sometimes 50. And it's actually just the small magnet, and they bunch together. Parents or adults can use them as like fidget tools, but they're incredibly difficult to pull apart. And so when one or more is swallowed, that's when the situation is really can become dangerous for young children. They can a lot of times be colorful and even look like little candies, which is really where the danger comes in.
And
okay, so they're a toy in and of themselves. I got it. Okay.
I'll jump in and also add that desk accessories for adults have a higher power magnet than toys for children. So you want to make sure if you are purchasing a child for a toy that does happen to have a magnet in it, the power of that magnet is not as high as the power for something that an adult would use. So keep those out of reach of children as well.
Thanks.
Representative Robbie from WFSU would like to know what legislation you're thinking about around this.
Well, thanks. There are a number of things. One, funding appropriately the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Hopefully the President-elect Biden will appoint some consumer advocates to the commission. We need to do that because what I've seen over the past year is when we've had dangerous jogging strollers or dangerous ATVs that have rollover potential, the Consumer Product Safety Commission has not been as aggressive as they should protecting families and consumers, again, relying on a lot of voluntary recalls when they know they can save lives if they were a little more aggressive. On the online children's privacy protection, there is an existing law, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, that says that online platforms and search engines cannot collect personal private data on kids, but a lot of these companies thumb their noses at it. Especially, there was probably the biggest settlement ever by the Federal Trade Commission was one that involved TikTok, where they were knowingly collecting personal private data illegally. So I've proposed some ways to strengthen the law. That would be to stop online platforms from collecting the data, raising the age, making sure that they can't manipulate children with scrolling, and just stop a lot of there's also a push in Congress to require these online platforms to take some liability. We would take the liability protection away from them, and that would probably have the effect of ending a lot of the illegal online harmful content that we see on the internet today. Those are just a few.
Thank you. Other questions? All right. If there are no other questions, we will hear from Representative Castor on a few wrap-up closing comments. Representative?
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us on this call today, because parents and caregivers, they need these tools today to understand the basics, just the basic of the toilet paper tube and choking hazards, the information on magnets, on noisy toys. They know they can go to saferproducts.gov to get information, but there's nothing like hearing it from their local news stations and newspapers for them to get the message. Oh, when I better spend a little extra time, a few extra seconds to keep my children safe. So I want to thank Grace Baumbach at US PIRG and Michelle Sterling from St. Joseph's Hospital and Florida Consumer Action Network for partnering with me to make sure parents and caregivers have all the tools they need to keep their kids safer this year.
Awesome. Thank you. And along with everyone who participated today, we do add our thanks along with our advocate and our consumer leader, Representative Kathy Castor. Please take a moment to review the report, which is available at fcan.org. This is very critical for our children. So thank you all for your participation today, and please have the happiest of holidays.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.